Is it possible for the dead to roam the earth or a locale unaware that they are dead? I hear this sometimes. He doesn't know he's dead. She doesn't know she's dead.
Hi, thanks for tuning in to our daily inspiration. As always, thank you so much everybody for taking the time to be here with us, where we focus on short-form videos here covering various subjects on our faith. Well then, as for this video, I'd like to share something from the exorcist and theologian Father Joseph Iannuzzi as he answers one rather interesting question, something that we often see played out in Hollywood movies. The best example that I can think of is the movie starring Bruce Willis, which was released in 1999.
I see dead people.
And so now let me share what Father Iannuzzi has to say about this very subject.
Well, this is a myth. The Church's councils of Lyon and Florence declared that immediately, and the word they use is mox, M-O-X, immediately after death, the soul is judged and goes to its eternal destiny of salvation or damnation. That is either purgatory, heaven, or hell. So there's no teaching that comes from the Church or that comes from Scripture where a person dies and doesn't know they're dead. I think it's kind of offensive for someone to be told that someone's dead and they don't know it. If it's a man, all he has to do is reach for his wallet and finds it's not there, he knows he's dead. Something's missing that's important in my life here. Sorry to be a little bit cheeky here, but there's truth to this. The dead go immediately to their place of judgment. Now, however, there are hauntings in places, absolutely. But this does not mean the dead do not go to purgatory, heaven, or hell. They do, but they bilocate. All right? This is important. The same dynamism occurs in the apparitions of Mary, Jesus, and saints. While it is true that immediately after death the soul is judged, God may, in special circumstances, forestall its judgment on account of the sacraments. The old 1912 Code of Canon Law allowed up to 2 hours for the priest to give extreme unction after the person's death. Also, we recall the case of Lazarus, right? He died, but he wasn't judged because God knew that he would be resurrected. So this was a special case where a person died, but they were not judged immediately. But this is not the norm.
And now for the second part of this video, I would like to share another one from Father Iannuzzi as he addressed briefly about the original sin. To begin with, in the Garden of Eden, there was no sin and therefore no temptation, no suffering, no aging, no death or aging that leads to death, and so forth. All the temptations we experience are the remote result of original sin. They are the proximate or immediate result of actual sin. And John, the Gospel writer, tells us that the devil tempts us by the world, the flesh, and the eyes. And so Jesus, in order to save mankind from death, took upon himself our human nature after original sin, in order to suffer the consequences of the sin that Adam and Eve could not expiate. This is because Adam and Eve offended an infinite God, and no sacrifice they could make, and no expiation that could atone for that infinite offense. Why? Because God is infinite while they are not. Unlike God, even before original sin, Adam and Eve had a beginning. They were created, but they had no end. And we today still are in the same condition. We have a beginning with birth, and we have no end. Adam was created, we are born, but our souls and bodies are immortal. Jesus came and took upon himself the consequences of our first parent's sin, and made that consequence, which is suffering, and the whole gamut of ailments that afflict the mind, body, and soul, the means by which we are saved. So God, who knew that when Adam and Eve would fall at the hands of the devil, at the tempting of the devil, he would already have the remedy prepared. The incarnation of Christ, who would use the consequences of Adam and Eve's sin, which is suffering, temptation, and testing, as the means of our salvation. So when we are tempted or tested or suffer, this is a test for us to prove our loyalty to God, and it is only through the test that we merit heaven. Just as the angels had to pass a test, and those who passed it merited heaven. And the angels did not enjoy the beatific vision before their test. They were in heaven, but they did not enjoy the beatific vision. Only after the test did they enjoy the beatific vision, because after the test, one can no longer sin and one is confirmed in grace. So Adam and Eve did not enjoy the beatific vision either in the Garden of Eden, therefore they could sin. It was only after they enjoy the beatific vision in heaven that they can no longer sin, and the same applies to us. God does not tempt us, but rather allows the demons to do the tempting. Well then, that will be all for the video this time. Thank you so much everybody for taking the time to be here with us, and as always I hope all of you have learned something useful from this video. Anyway, until the next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and may God bless you.